Good day, SFB Addict here. I had two short little questions on the Starfleet Battles Cadet Vassal module, and I'm just going to quickly answer them here in video form just in case somebody else had the same questions. The first question was, how do you record what weapons are fired? Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. If you're just having a simple friendly game, you can simply type into the chat window what weapons you're firing. For instance, Federation fires 3 phaser 1s, 2 photons at whatever. And this will show up in the chat window. And as you're going along and doing things through the game, you can always scroll back up and see what was there. So it's a good idea to get into the habit of labeling what you're doing. So turn 1, impulse 12, well, it looks like the eyes look like L's, so impulse 12, firing blah 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 blah. So this way you can always scroll back up in the chat log and see what turn, what impulse, etc. The other way of doing it is using the public-private notes. You have a window here that's public, so everyone can see it. You can have a window here just for yourself, so only you can see it. And then you have the delayed tab. Now the delayed tab is how you would do secret and simultaneous with your opponent, but this is a rather clunky interface, unfortunately. This window does not open automatically for your opponent when you open it, so you have to be polite and say opening window for SOP step, fire, whatever. And then open the window, and your opponent knows to do the same thing. And then you come in here and you create a note. So turn 1, impulse 12, fire stage, and then you would write in what you're firing. Fire 3 phaser 1s, and you can be really specific, number 1, number 2, number 3, at Klingon in hex 0506, or if you know the Klingon ship's name, you can type that in, etc., whatever, and click OK. And you notice nothing is showing up in chat. Nothing will show up until you click Save. So now your opponent sees that you have created a message called Turn 1 Impulse 12 Fire Stage. And your opponent can then go to the public-private notes, and they can open the window, and all they see is Turn 1 Impulse 12 Fire Stage. That's because you haven't revealed it yet. So, because you told your opponent you're opening the window for a SOP step, they open a window, they create their thing, and they hit save, you hit save, and then you can both go back in and then click Reveal, which then makes it visible to your opponent. But it's also common courtesy to highlight this, hit Control-C on your keyboard, and you notice here it doesn't tell you what the contents is, and then just take that copy, hit Control-V on the chat line, and hit it, and there it is, it's revealed in the chat log. And it's also still here in the public and private notes with the label Turn 1 Impulse 12 Fire Stage. So as you go throughout the game, these things will pile up. And you can always scroll back up, and it's also listed here as what player is doing it. Federation player, Klingon player, or me as an observer. So that's how you can track what weapons are fired. Now the other question was, how do you track damage on a drone? Well, you can again use the public and private notes, and since it's public knowledge for what damage has been done to a drone, you could put it in here like drone number 1 has 3 damage and save it. Or you can go directly to drone number 1. You can right click, you can click on show data, and you can just type it in. It has 3 damage. And when you go back to that drone, it retains the record. Now unfortunately those little show data windows will go to the background. They unfortunately don't stay on top of the window, so it's always a good idea to sort of put them someplace where you can see a bit of your desktop outside of the game window. That way if they do go to the background, you can easily click on it to bring it back to the front. It's a minor annoyance. But there it is. So there's 2 quick questions I got in an email regarding the Starfleet Battles Cadet module. How to track weapons fire and how to track damage to a drone. The same thing can go for a shuttle, tracking damage to a shuttle. If you don't want to use the clickable boxes that are on the SSD, you can simply use the chat log and use the public-private notes for tracking pretty much anything. If you have any other questions, just drop me an email. Have fun playing the game.